Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Timeout with Coach Cam. It's your boy Cam Chancellor, and I am excited to have a wonderful show this evening. Of course, it's NBA Finals time, so we will discuss that. Also, we will discuss, a question I saw on social media today involving Giannis Antetokounmpo. So we will discuss that. We also talk about Team USA and much, much more. But to introduce everyone, my boy to my right, Brian, what's going on, boss?
What it is, what it ain't, what it's gonna be, coach.
Hey, nothing much. That's the classic line. That's what you're gonna get from him every time. And from the bottom of me, Coach Kurt, what's going on, boss?
The villain's back. What's going
Oh,
on, y'all?
yep. Hey, everybody was hating on Kurt the last time he came, but hey, he embraces being that villain. And in the bottom right, my guy, Chris Brown, what's going on?
What's going on, man? I'm glad I could finally be on here. It's been some time.
Right. It's been some time. It's been overdue. And I know you got like your own separate projects.
Mhm.
So where can the people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at sportsw_Chris. I got a weekly podcast and I got a website coming out with daily blogs.
All right, there it is. There it is. So let's get right into it, fellas. Last time, we had an episode of Time Out with Coach Cam. It was 1-0 Suns, and that evening was the game, and they took the 2-0 series lead. And everybody was high and mighty on the Suns at the time. But as we see these last three games, the Bucks have tightened it up and have took a 3-2 series lead. I'm gonna start with Brian. Was it more of what the Suns are not doing for this to happen, or was it more of what the Bucks did to take control of this 3-2 series?
I'm gonna go with more of what the Suns are not doing. If you saw what the Suns did game one and game two, they put pressure on Milwaukee to play perfect basketball. And they couldn't hold up throughout game one and game two. For whatever reason, they've gone away from putting that pressure on Milwaukee to be perfect. And now you're seeing that it's a little bit more even, and Suns making too many mistakes, not hitting shots, and they done lost the series. Well, they ain't lost the series yet, but they about to give it up.
Yep. What you think, Coach Kurt? Who was it? Suns more of not doing what they supposed to be doing, or the Bucks taking control of the series?
As much as I want to blame the Suns for their pathetic play the last three games, I got to give Milwaukee their credit. Um, Giannis was exhausted the first two games, and there's a clip going around the internet him begging for help on the sideline. And the last three games, his help has helped him. They've played wonderful defense. They're moving the ball. The effort is incredible. Coach Bud, I've been hard on him in the past. He's coached a hell of a series. He's cut down the rotation. Not enough because I still see Jeff Teague, but um, they've been playing really well. So I give him the
Uh,
credit.
all right, the Bucks. What you got? What you got, Chris?
As much as I want to say the Suns, because I believe the Suns should be celebrating right now, I believe you told me something, I think it was on Facebook, that the Bucks have been through adversity in this playoffs. I got to give them their credit for fighting and do what they have to do. The Suns, I don't want to say they had an easy role, but they had an easier role where they were able to dominate series and be able to, take control and not look back. Right now, they got a, hungry Milwaukee team with probably one of the best players in the NBA. He's doing his thing. And like Coach Kurt said, he's getting his help. Drew Holiday last game played amazing. 20 plus points, 13 assists. The Suns need to do better, but the Bucks are doing what they have to do. It's no excuses.
Absolutely. I think it's more of what the Bucks are doing. The help has stepped up. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, and people say, "Well, Drew Holiday shoot 4 for 20." I don't care about that, as long as you playing the defense that you're playing on Chris Paul, 94 feet, fighting through screens, not really, just giving up the switch voluntarily. Um, and we talked about this, Chris, on All Sports, was that was a huge pickup, and I don't think
Yes.
people really understood what the Bucks did in getting Drew Holiday because he's been underrated for years. I mean, for him to just be on this first all defensive team is a joke. He should be like one of the perennial guys as far as the all defensive team, whether it's first or second. And it completed their team, and I really did. And just to being able to have someone that can guard these point guards, especially just give them a hard time because it's such a point guard driven league right now with so many good ones that you got to have somebody to defend them. And I think that's been huge for them. But I give a lot of credit to the Bucks here, and another guy here that's just stepped up. Pat Connaughton has made big shots. And to ending the Suns' momentum, and momentum's and run with key shots and rebounds. And I know one game he had 9 rebounds. You know what I mean? So Pat Connaughton definitely has played well. And before we switch topics, I still want to stay up, on this finals here. Um, Chris Paul. Now we down 3-2. He's he's but with 36. This is the time for him. He has to get this. He has to get this ring. Like, how do you feel for Chris Paul? I'm gonna start with Chris. How do you feel for Chris Paul? Is it like, do you have some kind of sympathy for him? You feel bad for him? How do you feel about that and his performance overall in this finals?
I have no sympathy for this man. I have no sympathy for him. Where were you at when y'all lost 109 to 103? Let's look at the box score. You had 10 points. You was 5 for 13. You had 5 turnovers. I remember talking to my grandfather. I'm like, I like the Suns going to this. He was like, I don't know. Chris Paul been looking sloppy with the ball. The turnovers are killing him. I have no sympathy for Chris Paul. He wants to be 36. He wants to be considered, a top 5 point guard all time. We need to play like a top 5 point guard all the time. We know Devin Booker is the scorer, but at times you need to take over. Even though you look at the stats and say he had a decent game last game, there's points in the game where Chris Paul is in and Devin Booker is not. I'm looking at Chris Paul like, why are you not in takeover mode? Why are you not getting to your spots? Or why are you not getting, easier shots for everybody else on the team? Instead, you're just sitting around a corner and letting everybody else create. When you look at that roster, they really don't have a lot of guys other than those 2 guys that can create their own basket. So for Chris Paul, I feel no sympathy towards this man. If he wants the finals, he needs to play like he wants to win the finals. Because right now, he's looking like an average Joe Schmo.
Mm. I'm gonna go with Coach Kirk. What you think about Chris Paul performance and if he was to drop this, I mean, how would you feel about everything there?
About time we
Uh
got to this
oh.
topic. I've been waiting.
Uh
So me and Cam have had conversations about a certain point guard that I love, John Stockton,
Mhm.
who 19 years, 19 postseason appearances, all-time
Mhm.
leader in steals, all-time leader in assists. I've seen John Stockton go head up and guard Michael Jordan. Was it perfect defense? No, but he took the challenge. Chris Paul is not a good defender. I'm watching these finals. I see a bunch of scrappiness. I see him with these ticky tack hand checks and smacking on the arm. I'm not seeing good on ball defense. I'm seeing Drew Holiday taking him in the paint, killing him in the paint. He got 3 inches and probably 20 pounds, and he's missing bunnies up until the last game. But I haven't seen the defense from Chris Paul, which we praise him for his defense. His playmaking ability. I'm watching him let Devin Booker go 1-on-5. You're supposed to be this leader. What are you doing? Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, they're playing great ball. They need to, I don't know what Monty Williams needs to do with their minutes. They need more minutes on the court. But Chris Paul I have no sympathy. I I don't know what people have seen in him. It's the same pick and roll over and over. Milwaukee caught on to it. Chris Paul hasn't been effective since game 2 or game 3. I I don't know what people see in Chris Paul. I see a lot of dirty, cheap shots from Chris Paul.
Mm.
I don't understand the Chris Paul love. I
mm,
truly don't.
mm.
Cam, I
Brian,
got I got a question
go.
real quick, Cam.
Sure.
Do y'all consider that last foul against Giannis on the fast break a dirty cheap shot? Because some people say he wasn't going for the ball
Yes.
at all.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it.
You go on full speed. You in mid air. Giannis in mid air full speed. You full speed, and you two hand pushing somebody in the mid section. Like he could have flew into the back head, hit his back, the backboard. That could have been dangerous.
I feel the same. If Giannis wasn't hanging on the rim, he saved himself because if he let go of that rim, it could have been real ugly.
At this age, CP3 not locking anyone down. It's his defensive IQ at this stage of his career.
What IQ?
Yeah,
When he
because
Said,
switches on when he switches on Middleton, he's getting killed. When he's on Holiday, he's getting killed. If Coach Bud would actually play Bryn Forbes, he
oh,
would
you're
be
right.
killing Chris Paul too. He is a defensive liability on the court at this point. He
mm,
truly is.
Brian, what you think? Brian, I don't know. I hope we ain't lose Brian there.
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, okay, you in. So what? How you? So how you feel about the CP?
Well, Chris Paul, I think he's getting the lifetime achievement love because he had the years in with the Clippers and the years in New Orleans. So I think right now he's just getting the love from that lifetime achievement. He
Mm,
has elevated this play. If you go back and actually look at the stats, he has elevated this play this postseason. So he's averaging more points and assists. But that age, and he's starting to slow down because they're picking him up full court, and he's getting exposed a little bit. Now it's just going to be a thing of is he going to pick up his play to actually show that he's worthy of the love he's getting. And they also going to have to. I think they're going to play Payne and Chris Paul on the court at the same time because they need to
mm,
speed that tempo up. And I think
yeah.
if they can do that, they'll get Milwaukee back in the on the defensive end back where they have to be perfect and not pick up those ticky tack fouls because uh, Lopez he can't move his feet. PJ Tucker he can't actually stick with anybody
Nope.
without hand checking. And the other
Mhm.
thing that I've picked up on, depending on how the officials calling these games, that's going to be the key because as long as if Milwaukee can really be physical, they're gonna win the series. If they call it like they were doing game one and game two, where they were like, okay, we're not letting you do all of that, it, Suns still got a shot. It just depends on how they're gonna officiate the game.
Yeah, and I am one that I wanted to give Chris Paul his props because I thought this whole season and even last season with a young Thunder team kind of showed his how valuable he could be to a basketball team for sure. And is he a top 10 for me, a top 10 point guard of all time? Absolutely. But where it gets for me at is, and I'm not taking nothing away from Chris Paul, but it's like, wait a minute. All of a sudden, he gets to the finals, and the one finals you get to, now all of a sudden you're a top 5 point guard of all time. You thrusting him up there with the magics and all this stuff, and I'm just like, hold up, like this is a guy that has really uh, lost 3-1 leads. Has come up short in the postseason. And it's just I just hear too much disrespect when they say, "Oh, he better than Jason Kidd. Oh, he better than Johnston. Oh, he better than these guys." I'm like, these point guards had led their team to multiple finals, like multiple finals appearances. You know what I mean? And he's just now getting there, and and he has to seal the deal here. There's no sympathy for me and Chris Paul because, like I mentioned earlier, I think he's a little dirty. I think he has kind of like that little guy complex to where he got to do a little extra to get the edge. And I'm not mad, but I mean some of these plays that he be doing is dirty. They dirty and they dangerous. You know what I mean? So for me, like I said, he's a great point guard, and yes, he has elevated a team that hasn't made it to the playoffs in 10 years. Absolutely, I said that with the Young Thunder's team last year. But all in all, he has to finish the job. Like lay the egg game. What was that? Game three. No, game four. He had a key turnover. Just you know, when you start talking about top 5 point guards, for me, CP3 ain't in it. And even if he was to win this ring, it's just like you just can't just thrust him up there. I'm sorry, and that's where it's kind of the buck stops for me with CP3. You know what I mean? And look, I know what playing hard is. I know what playing hard is.
It's a different.
This is
This is just
dirty.
dirt. This is
This
dirty.
is this is dirty here. This is dirty. He got to Giannis late and pushed him in the midsection in midair. Like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? But but a person that's dominating this series, and we didn't think he would play at all, is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, people say what they want to about him, but he's averaging 32, 13, and 6 in this finals. I'm gonna start. And now they're one win away from an NBA championship where he most likely will get the Finals MVP. This will be a Finals MVP, an NBA champion, a two-time MVP, a Defensive Player of the Year, and however many time All-Star. He's probably gonna be All-Star for the rest of his career, barring injuries. Chris, I seen on Twitter today that if he was to win this ring, will he be the second best power forward of all time? What you think?
I don't know if I could just throw him in there to number two just yet. Now, is he in the conversation? Yes, but people were just saying the same thing about AD. Now look how they feel about Anthony Davis the year after he went off in the finals. Now, yes, you look at Giannis, he has the MVPs and things like that, but majority of people were just saying AD was better than Giannis. So now I'm confused on how everybody's mindset is. I say this: if you look at talent wise, Giannis and AD are some of the most talented power forwards we ever seen. Giannis is still behind, yeah. Ooh, I'll put him over Malone. I don't like Malone, but
Yeah,
but I say this, like for me, if you look at talent wise, they can easily have an argument to be in the top five, but they're nowhere near Duncan. I cannot put him over a guy that scored 30,000 points, and Dirk Nowitzki, your guy, Coach Cam. I got a lot of respect for him. KG, I don't know if I can put him above KG just yet, and maybe Barkley, but Barkley was a different breed, so I don't know if I could put him at number two. I say this though, they're both in the conversation, but it's too early to just throw him in because if he has a bad year next year, how's everybody's mindset going to be? Because this just reminds me of when AD won last year in the bubble.
Mm. All right, Brian, what you think?
He hadn't done it long enough to be number two. You got too many guys that's Hall of Fame worthy, Hall of Fame credentials for him to just because he wins one ring to thrust him over those other guys. So nah, not yet. After a couple of years, a couple more seasons, not a few more seasons, because even with Malone, yeah, no, not yet. He ain't earned it yet. He got to earn it.
Coach Kurt.
I don't think he's earned it yet, but that resume at 26,
It's nice. It's
that's
nice.
impressive.
It's nice.
That's an impressive resume at 26. This is a kid what drafted, I think 13 or 15 somewhere
Yeah,
along
like
there. He was
15.
just a pick. We didn't think anything of him. All of a sudden, he burst on the scene. He stayed in Milwaukee. He stayed true to himself. He and Middleton have become this kind of, dare I say, dynamic duo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been an impressive run, but of course, he can never be above Tim Duncan. That run with the Spurs, that never. Dirk, I don't. He can't pass Dirk yet. I'm biased on Barkley, so he's definitely not passing Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like Chris. I'm not a Malone guy. I I'm more of a Stockton guy. I think Stockton was the reason Malone was the way Malone was. So I can put him above Malone, especially with the ring, and I can honestly put him above KG.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
KG, he stayed in Minnesota. He had to join a super team to get his ring.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis stayed true. Got a G League All Star and Drew Holiday, an underrated player, and he's doing this right now. And we're gonna look back and say, oh yeah, the Nets were injured, but you still beat KD. You still beat KD. You are a defensive player of the year. You have all these things on your resume. So I'm at four, I guess, but I top two not yet. But his trajectory, he's gonna be top two if he stays on this path.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments in here. Like I said, blasphemy.
Of
I got
course.
the question. I got the question off of Twitter. Okay, first off. Second of all, like I look, Malone statistically is up there. Personally, I don't like the guy. And I'm just gonna keep it honest. He's a scumbag.
Hmm.
A scumbag of a person. And really, when you hear power forwards, you don't hear Malone mentioned by other greats because you know because of what I mean. Malone, what Coach Kerr said. A product of maybe the system. You know, and having a great point guard. That was the key. I just look kind of like at skill set. I mean, like you said, at 26 years old, I name off all these credentials. I name, two-time MVP. I name a defensive player of the year. Like, come on now. Like, it ain't crazy to say that he's arguably the fifth best power forward right now at 26 years old. Imagine when he's 36 and add 10 more All Stars to this. Like, imagine he stay healthy. Because what he's shown me, honestly, is that he can heal and manage to stay healthy almost like LeBron James. He don't miss games. He don't
Weight
try to
room.
miss games. You know what I mean? So he play every night. So he's gonna get the
Mhm.
stats. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying right now, but don't act like it's impossible. Like he's so far off. At 26 years old, he got more MVPs than who y'all naming
And then
combined.
one other
Yeah,
thing I want to mention, he only plays about 30 minutes a game because he
exactly.
plays so hard in that 30 minutes, he can't go the 40 minutes, the 45 minutes that these other players go. So imagine his stats on a 48 minute scale. Like his
Disgusting.
stats will be even increased.
Yep, and that's what we
So
seeing now in
it's
these finals with this 40 and 20 and 40 close to 40 and 20, 40 and 15 because he playing those minutes now.
yeah, it's amazing to watch the effort level on both ends of the court. That block on DeAndre Ayton, that may be the. I was arguing with some friends of mine about was that a better defensive play than Jordan on Malone in those finals, and I'm back and forth. I really can't decide, but it's up there. That's how legendary that block was.
Yeah, it was definitely. They said before, yeah, last time y'all was ready to bury Giannis. Not me.
No, we weren't.
People
I
can
said
speak
Bucks
for
and four
me.
the whole time.
People can speak for me. I said Bucks in six. I stayed with Bucks in six.
I
I
said
did
Bucks and
not
four.
waver. I did
Bucks
never.
and
I
four, and
never
I'm
wavered
still
on the
saying it.
Bucks. Not
Bucks
not
had
in this
two
series.
preseason games. Bucks and four.
All right, y'all. So we got Team USA started off a little slow, picked it up, got a couple wins there. Um, the roster though doesn't really don't move me. They got some solid guys, but it don't. When you look at a Team USA roster, it doesn't wow me. And some of the people that's on the roster, not saying they're not good or anything, just saying, you expect a little bit more firepower when you talk about Team USA. We'll start with Brian. Do you still think we have enough firepower to win to win a gold medal?
The problem I think people have is we're looking at the wrong end of the court. Team
Mm.
USA typically won because
Wait,
of defense.
wait.
Mhm.
If you looked at when Jordan and Pippen and the rest of them cats got out there, that dream team, they dogged people defensively, and you made them want to pack up and go home. Now I think we got the squad that they have now. It's enough athletes on that team. If they really wanted to focus and pin down and play some man-to-man defense and just dog somebody, I think they could. And then when you got KD and you got Dame, you got two dudes that can shoot from anywhere in the gym. So they should be beating any and everybody they come up against. It's just a matter of can they actually get those guys to focus on the defensive end to lock people down? Once they do that, they'll be all right.
So, all right, Coach Kurt. We got enough to bring home the gold.
Let's be honest. Zach Levine is probably more talented than anybody else in the rest of the world. And we still got KD and Dame. So talent's not the issue. My issue with Team USA's team initially, before losing the exhibition game, wasn't just, like you said, defense, but more so they don't have any coachable players. I think it's maybe I looked at the roster, maybe four guys I would say is actually coachable. You got the rest of the guys doing what they want to do. Like there's a picture of Jason Tatum guarding Pop in the middle of an exhibition game. What are you guarding your coach for? Like you're not listening to a guy who went to 22 straight playoffs, has 5 rings. Then who are you going to listen to? This is why you're there playing now and not in the NBA Finals. Like the
Mm.
egos of this team is crazy, and it's shameful. Oh, the rest of the world has caught up. No, they haven't. Patty Mills is a star. Are we serious? Patty Mills is a star. Come on, guys. We got way more talent. This goal should be easy. It's just funny to laugh about them losing. It's hilarious. But yes, like this comment says, they do lack leadership. I mean, you look at the roster, who's the leader? We know KD's not the leader. I guess
Mm.
you would call Dame a leader, but that's one of his flaws. So who's the actual leader? So I think to be a runaway goal like it should be, they need to shut up and listen to Pop. Will they do that? I don't know, but even if they don't, they still have plenty to beat anyone else in the world. So
Mm. Chris, we bringing home the gold.
I mean, we should, like Brian, like Coach Kerr said, we have the talent. It's just the little things that if you do you want to be the bronze team or you want to be the gold team? Because just buying a pop, there should be no question in anything. You have enough talent to sweep the floor with everybody. Put the egos aside, play defense. Okay, let's say you shoot 9 shots. Some of the best shooters in the world go 6 for 9. It should be no issue. And I do look at the roster and I question some players. I'm not a huge fan of Jeremy Grant. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not a fan of his at all. I do like the McGee pickup because I do believe they needed a legit 7-footer that could be a rim protector. Not saying McGee is going to play 20 minutes, but if he plays 5 to 9 minutes, I think he could have an impact. Because you look at Jeremiah Green and you look at Bam Adebayo, there's 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". But they're missing some wing defenders. Zach Levine's gone, but they still have more than enough talent. Dame and KD can cover the scoring. You still have Jason Tatum. You have scorers on this team. Everybody else needs to just lock in on defense and do their job. It should not be this simple because regardless, you can say the rest of the world is catching up. Yeah, some countries might have some of the best players in the world, but as a collective unit, nobody should match up with Team USA.
You're right. You're right. All of you are right. All of you are right. We have the more talent. We have, that more athleticism, whatever you want to call it. They should win gold, but what scares me um, is mostly that the fundamental of some of these other countries, the fundamental sound basketball, and also the officiating that
mhm.
you don't get those little, oh, you bump into me, I fall, I get a foul. It's a play on over there. They're
I'm
not
glad.
going for the flops. They're not going for, for some of those soft calls that they, are superstar driven calls that you will get in the NBA. They don't care. I mean, you know what I mean? And they have had trouble adjusting to that. Leadership, as my boy True said, you know, that's lacking, man. Every great USA team had a leader. Rather, 92 obviously, honestly Magic, was the leader of that group. You go, you look at um the Redeem team or whatnot. Kidd. They had a point guard, Jason Kidd. You had Chris Pauli. So they've always had a spearheaded leader. LeBron in that too. A spearheaded leader. As far as leadership to help bring everybody along, and someone that they will listen to when they speak. And I don't think there's nobody on that team is when they speak they gonna take seriously. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people look at kind of KD kind of sideways,
Mm-mm.
and then you look at the Dame. I think if he speaks, it's just like, okay, cool. I mean, it's a
Drake.
respect thing, but it's not more of a,
But
all right,
you
let me
got
hunker
Draymond on
down.
the
Draymond,
team
yeah,
though.
Draymond.
He's not a good enough player
Yeah, you could
to
say
listen
that.
to,
You could say that.
in my opinion.
Defensive
Like,
3-time champ, defensive player of the year.
here
Okay.
we go. Don't do this, Kurt. Don't do it,
The,
because
the offense,
because
the
I'm
offense
exposed.
fell
I'm
off.
exposed. Now Kurt know what I'm talking about. I'm exposing him on Timeout with Coach Cam about this Draymond Green talk that he about high about. So let's stop Kurt. Let's not do that because I don't want to expose. But you know what? I think I am. I think I'm gonna do it.
Oh man,
We was arguing, and he said Draymond Green was better
In
than
contract.
Scottie Pippen.
Ooh,
oh you
In
know I
his
don't like Scottie
role.
Pippen. You know I don't like
In
Scottie,
his
so you might as well
role.
just skip me.
In his role.
Oh my God, are y'all
We
crazy?
give
I
Scottie
don't I
Pippen
don't
a
know about that
lot of
one.
credit for sitting there being Jordan's coat, riding Jordan's coattails.
That is true. That is he's the most
Nah,
he's
We're
the
not asking. I'm not saying Scottie Pippen about or Draymond about to drop 30 or 40. That's not his game. He shoots 5 shots a game. How are you gonna get 30 points?
I'm not
He
asking
leads the
you.
Warriors in blocks,
yeah
rebounds, assists.
steals too probably.
He's better at doing that than Scottie Pippen,
No, he's
who
not.
thinks he's a
ooh
number one
boy,
in his
No,
head.
he's not. No, he's
ooh.
not. No, he's not. Scottie Pippen. So he's a better defender than Scottie Pippen. Is this what you're telling me? You can't tell me he's a better defender than Scottie Pippen.
No,
Scotty, the
I
no.
don't
voice of
know.
the
It's close.
Ooh,
It's close. Who
ooh.
else on the Warriors plays defense besides Draymond?
Clay, when healthy. Clay locks up.
Yeah,
But you have Jordan next to you, so it's easier for me to play defense if I know Jordan's there.
No, but he the one
Who's the rim
picked up
protector for the
Magic 94 feet.
who
Pippen picked up the number one off the number one offensive person on the other team. Jordan didn't pick up the number one offensive guy.
because he had to carry him offensively. Who's the rim protector for the Warriors? Kevon Looney
It
when he
ain't
has good
Draymond.
plays.
Draymond ain't blocking no shots now. Come on.
ooh, I think
He gets all the
Draymond that.
rebounds.
What?
Draymond the back end
Pippen get
guy.
yeah.
Listen. In no way,
Whew,
shape, or form is Draymond Green better than Scottie Pippen.
In
Okay?
his role.
No.
Not
No.
overall, would I take Scottie Pippen over Draymond? Yeah, but in that role of just being the we need you to do everything but score. Give me
but
Draymond.
Pippen did everything
Just
and
give it to me.
score. So
Draymond not gonna pout on the sideline if he don't get the game winning shot.
Mm.
Oh.
Voice of the old head, the voice of the delusional old head, Scottie Pippen,
ooh,
man. Time to
Hey,
expose him.
now
ooh.
I'm not saying that Scottie Pippen lost his mind, but I'm just saying on that court
You know.
he
He's
did
the
his
great.
thing.
He's known for the greatest Robin of all time. That's it. You know.
That's cool when you were robbing next to the goat.
He thought he was more though. He thought he was more.
He thought he was more.
He thought he was
His big
more.
his greatest moment in NBA history is helping a man with food
I was
poisoning to the
about to say
sideline.
that.
Like, are we serious?
That's what he's known for.
Wow.
He's
That's to help
known
him
for
out.
Wow.
I
Oh
mean,
my god.
Ooh wee.
I mean, the disrespect of Scotty Maurice
So
Pippen
we
tonight is
But
real.
so are
you
we
know how I
saying that
feel about him, though, Coach Ken. You know how I feel about
No,
Scotty.
would
I
He
get it.
make old
I
heads look
understand.
bad.
I
did
do.
Draymond Green get a team to the playoffs by himself?
No.
Because I mean, there was a couple of
He
years
got
when
he
Michael
got it with
Jordan
number
was
No, he
one
not
didn't.
pick,
there.
with number two pick. That's what he
There
got him.
was a year when Michael Jordan didn't play and the Bulls still made it to the playoffs. I don't remember Draymond Green carrying the team to the playoffs, being a leader of a team going to the playoffs by himself. That didn't happen.
It ain't gonna ever happen.
That's
Steve
my
Kerr versus
point.
Phil Jackson.
Who cares?
But that
We talking
that,
about
that Bulls
Draymond and
team was
Scottie
loaded.
Pippen.
Oh man, come on. That's another thing too. That Bulls team was
So we
not
just
that loaded.
So what are the Warriors
it's
without
okay.
Clay and
It
Steph?
was more than Andrew Wiggins. Are we
They
taking Tony Kukoc or Andrew Wiggins?
See, I'm taking
Oh
Wiggins.
Lord.
anyway.
So we just know. Okay, so
I'm taking
it's
Wiggins
clear.
personally.
It's clear that
I'm
y'all look
taking
you
Kukoc.
like
You
you like
taking Kerr? You
Draymond.
taking Phil Jackson?
What'd you
They
say?
one and the same.
You taking
Who
Kerr?
did
You taking Phil Jackson?
Oh, yeah, I'm taking Phil.
They not one
That's
in
not
the
that's not even
same.
a question.
They not one
And
in the same.
no way, shape, or form am I taking Kerr.
They not one in the same. Steve Kerr was inherited the greatest gift of all time.
Yep, correct.
I will give you that. I will
Phil
give you
Jackson inherited Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, then turned around and inherited Shaq and Kobe. So what are we talking about there?
that. And
Which team was struggling and which team was already right there and everybody in the league knew it.
Both.
Okay.
mm, we'll see. Hey, you know what? It's all hey, look, it's always great to talk sports with y'all, man. Because you know what? That's what it's about, having different opinions, respecting people's opinions, man, and getting after it for somebody said Mark Jackson hate Kerr for
I
real.
would too. I would too.
I mean
You
absolutely.
blackballed me out
He
the league.
should.
He's blackballed out the league. We ain't crazy. I mean anybody know that he deserves another chance to coach in this league.
Come to Philly, please. Please come to Philly.
It's over, Doc. You got
Please
two,
come to
3 more years.
Philly.
You got 2 more years with Doc,
Yes,
at
sir.
least.
I'm
You
about to
got
be a,
two more.
I'm about to be 87er fan. I'm done with this. I'm about to be a Blue Coats fan. I'm done with this team. I'm burning this starter
Now,
jacket after the show.
now before we go, cause I brought you on the show, Chris. Cause I got. What do you want to do with Ben Simmons as a diehard Philly fan, a diehard Ben Simmons guy? Because remember, I would give you slack about Ben Simmons too.
Yeah,
And you stood up on the chair on the table. It was
yeah,
Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons. What you want? Do you want to give him another chance to see if this worked? Because that was the number one seed.
yeah.
Y'all was really y'all really should have been in the Eastern Conference Finals at least. Let's be for
Should be
real.
in the finals. Not just no. Nobody is scared of Milwaukee and Philadelphia. That's a
That's
fact. Nobody's scared.
that's that's fair. That's fair. So, what do you think about Ben Simmons? Do you want to see him traded? Do you want to try to give him another chance? Where you at on Ben Simmons right now after being able to kind of cool off somewhat?
I'm still not cooled off. I'm
I,
not gonna
I,
lie to you. I'm still frustrated. But at this point, I don't know how many chances I want to give him because everything is right in front of him. The G League. That's fun. He should. He probably needs to go to the G League to get some
That's a little
hunger.
high.
But it's like
That's a little high.
yeah. But everybody says he needs a jumper, but he's proven in the NBA that he. I have a clip and I can send you, and I posted it on my social medias. There's in NBA games where he's taking mid ranges comfortably, in the transition to the offense, off a pick and roll, hesitation pull up. So all that he needs a jumper. I don't want to hear it because in 2020 he was working on the jumper and the same open runs that everybody gave Devin Booker for, but they don't want to give him credit for. It's all about the mental, and I don't know. Something needs to change. They say he's getting baby. I 100% believe that because Doc Rivers and everybody was babying him all regular season. Say, oh well, scoring is important because every single Sixers fan knew in the playoffs there was going to be a time where what is Ben Simmons going to do in the half court? He did his thing against Washington. For some reason, against the Hawks, he folded. And so I'm done with him. I was the biggest Ben Simmons fan that I knew was me and one other person. He's yet to comment on Ben Simmons because I think he's even scared to take his side because everybody knows Ben Simmons right now. He shouldn't be walking around in Philadelphia because every fan he's going to see, they're going to stop him and they're going to go over his free throw mechanics. Every fan. At the end of the day, he needs to get better, and I don't know if that's going to happen in Philadelphia. So if I can get a Bradley Beal, if I can get a Dame, that's cool. I'll say this. I'm not trading him for nothing. Because at 24 years old, he's still a three-time All-Star. He should be a Defensive Player of the Year this year. I don't understand how Gobert won it, but he's a defensive liability in the playoffs. That blows my mind. First team on defense twice. we're not trading him for some mid-level player. If Daryl Morey, the guy who really never stole, nah, Ben Simmons deserves it. Stop here. But if Daryl
He stole
Morey,
it from Mitchell.
yeah,
He stole the spider.
he did, but this is the biased fan talking, so I'm not going to admit that at all. But if Daryl Morey, the guy that rarely loses trades, I doubt he's going to lose a trade when it comes to Ben Simmons. So I'm going to be surprised if Ben starts on the Sixers roster. But I stand with this. He has every single physical tool, right? Call me crazy. If he had the mindset, he's a top 5 point guard. If he had a jump shot, he's by far the best point guard because nobody could play defense like him. When you look at all the other top point guards, they can play some defense, but they're really all offensive, oriented. It's all mental. So somebody might need to chin check him. Somebody might need to, look at the circle around him. Somebody needs to be real with him because nobody in my circle is going to let me, with all my potential, go outside in football or in track and field. They're not going to let me to continue to show flashes and be mediocre when it's count. Somebody's going to check me. And it's been 4 years with the same thing. So something needs to change. If he's gone, he's gone. If I get Dame, I'm not looking back. But I think he still has what it takes at 24 years old to be one of the best players in the NBA.
What you think, Brian? What's the Phillies do, Ben?
Coach Kirk said something that applies, I think, perfectly to Ben Simmons. He said Team USA has a bunch of guys that's not coachable. I truly believe there's no way that Ben Simmons has gone this far in the league, this long in the league, without somebody getting in his ear, telling him, be more aggressive, shoot the jump shot. It doesn't matter if you hit it or not. You just need to be a threat. Take the shot. I don't think he's coachable. Do I think he's going to leave Philly? No, because I don't know what somebody's going to give up to get him. That's going to be the problem. Is what's it going to take to get Ben Simmons up out of Philly? So I think he's going to be there. He should be there because he's a great player. He just needs to get over his mental whatever it is. He got that Charles Barkley golf swing thing going on where you just need to take the damn shot. Period. No matter if you hit it or not. But you know what? It's not the first time it's happened. You have Avery Johnson when he came into the league. Awesome point guard. Could distribute, can run the offense perfectly. He just he took the jump shot. He just wasn't good at it. And slowly but surely he worked into it. Rondo, same way. Terrible looking jump shot. But over the years, he kept shooting it. He got better at it. Ben Simmons just got to shoot it. Period.
J Kidd.
Yeah.
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 Even better, Joey. I got a video of him doing it in NBA games, not just pickups. I mean, NBA regular season games against top defenses. There's no excuse for me with these mechanics. He can shoot. He just needs to do it.
Go ahead, Coach Kurt.
So I don't want to admit this out loud, but I have to. I'm an SEC guy for college, and yes, I watch SEC basketball. It's a terrible brand of basketball. But Ben Simmons didn't make the tourney. He lost to Mississippi State in the SEC tourney. I think in the
Yep.
first round.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was early. That
So
boy bounced. Yeah.
that to me triggered something. I'm like, okay, when it's time to shine and time to be that guy, he wasn't that guy then. So now I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm gonna give him a chance. He gets to the NBA, it's the same thing. So you can get you can get all these 20-point triple doubles in the regular season. Now when teams say, okay, we want you to just shoot, and like Chris has been saying, his shooting mechanics aren't bad. Like he really has decent form. He looks like he can be able to shoot, but he chooses not to shoot. It's a mental thing. And then why that really affects, because Joel Embiid, there's no one in the NBA who can stop him down low. There's literally no one. So, but because Simmons won't shoot, Embiid has to take those goofy long 3-point shots and have to put the ball on the floor from the top of the key, which is the worst looking thing I've seen in the league. And then the whole Philly team is terrible. Doc Rivers, he is Doc Rivers. We love him, but this is his third super team, and he has one ring. So playoff Doc is the thing. He's gonna choke in the playoffs, and he did it again this year. But Simmons scapegoated Doc. But I think Philly's gonna keep Simmons because there's no way to gauge his value. Like they're talking about this trade for Dame, this trade for Bradley Beal. Although I don't like Dame or Bradley Beal, they're much higher value than Ben Simmons. Bradley Beal's a what scoring champion, not this year, but the year before. Dame is the guy who shoots a bunch of 40-foot jumpers that y'all love, but whatever. So I don't know if you get the value back. I mean, Ben Simmons' value is what a Shea Alexander from OKC at this point.
Ooh.
And I
Not,
don't want that to sound disrespectful to Ben Simmons,
not
but
even.
that's
Nah,
about the
but
value you
but you're
get.
right though.
Not even.
You're right, and that's the thing. I don't think you can trade Ben Simmons. I think you got to keep him and pray that he goes, and that he be able to shoot. I mean, it.
I'd rather trade Tobias anyway. If you asking me, I'd rather get rid of Tobias first than the. That's another.
But that contract, y'all
That
gave him max
contract.
money,
That's the listen.
and in the
That's,
playoffs, you don't get the same Tobias Harris.
he's a fourth option getting $37 million. Him and Al Horford robbed us. I just don't understand what Philadelphia was doing. That still baffles me to this day.
Someone said here, just move Simmons to the four and get a point that can shoot.
Wouldn't it be
The
mad
issue
if he wouldn't be mad at that?
wouldn't be mad at that, but the issue is you're still clogging up things for Joel,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're forcing him to shoot jumpers, which you hate, Chris.
Dislike
You
it.
know, but not necessarily shoot jumpers when he started out shooting jumpers.
I hate
And
that.
you know what I mean? And I know you can't stand that, so I don't think that helps Joel Embiid moving him to the four. I think at this point in time, you would like to try to build around Joel Embiid, and I think the best way to do that would possibly be trading Ben Simmons, but just don't see how you can do it and get good value back in return, uh, because you're on the cusp of possibly making it to a finals, really, a couple breaks here and there. So you have to you almost got to stay the course and hope that this works, man. I mean, it's
I have
hard.
no faith.
Y'all are in a tough
Mm-mm.
position.
I have no faith in this team, and this is
That
from a
window's
diehard.
closed.
This is from a diehard Sixers fan. You know how I feel about my Sixers. I have no faith. If Doc Rivers is still the coach, I have no faith.
Oh, he's still the coach.
If the
He ain't
roster
going
doesn't have
nowhere.
a big shake, I have no. So that's why I have no faith, no expectations. I'm done letting my mind be, yeah, I'm done with the Sixers. I can't live with this no more, man.
Mm,
All this
mm.
potential and they suck.
Hey. You know what? Right now, you're just upset, Chris. Y'all gonna have a good off. Y'all gonna have a good off season. Y'all gonna have a good draft.
Unless Doc is fired, the off season will not be good, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that I mean that's true.
But
Hey,
also, we Daryl Morey, we giving a lot of credit. He traded. He basically got back Kelly Olynyk and what? Uh, uh, Victor Oladipo for James Harden.
Now he was
Oladipo's career is pretty much
he
over.
was already in Philly when that happened. He was in Philly when
yeah, he was in Philly
yeah,
already.
he was in Philly
Okay.
already. That wasn't him. He got a Seth Curry, and Seth
Okay.
was the second best player in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
with you though. I'm with you though, Coach Curry. That might have been one of the worst trades of all time. And if they didn't secure that number 2 pick, the Rockets they destroyed that James Harden trade. They were lucky to get Kevin Porter Jr. in a separate trade, but they didn't get that number 2 pick. The Rockets had the worst
Mm-hmm.
trade management of all time. I sound like a Bengals fan. You might have to put that up there.
Yeah, hey, that's what I was about to sound like, man. You sound like me with the big. Oh man, I'm done with him. I can't say they got Joe Burrow hurt. I can't do it no more. And then all of a sudden, a couple things give you a little hope, and you right back at it, man.
Y'all
Trying
got
to.
Jamar Chase, man. Y'all know you lost your mind.
Hey, I wanted Chase.
I
I said
know.
it from jump. I wanted Jamar Chase. I understand the line. I feel like we addressed it with some solid needs, but we'll see. We'll see. But final question, Kurt: does the Bucks end it tomorrow night?
As I stated previously, there was two preseason games the Bucks gave away. Bucks in four.
Oh man.
Well,
This
there.
Giannis guy is. I'm loving it. I'm loving the effort on both offensive and defensive ends of the court. I don't know if they can understand him when he's talking in a huddle, but I'm loving that too. All the passion. The
Yeah.
most confusing player in NBA history, Chris Middleton. Maybe he's doing something at home. I'm gonna give a shout out to I'm a Laker fan, so the real Alex Caruso that these Lakers fans think he is, Pat Connaughton. I'm loving what he's giving us. He's shooting a bunch. He's shooting. He's just shooting. He's shooting and
Yeah.
rebounding. But
Yeah.
Lakers fans think Caruso does.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, I think he found his shot. So Bucks ended Tuesday. They celebrating fear the deer, all that Kareem, whatever. So yeah, Bucks ended.
There it is. Bucks ended. Chris, do the Bucks end it tomorrow night?
I was Suns in, but no, no more Suns in anything. Bucks ended. The Suns blew their opportunity 3, 4 straight games. They should have won 4-1. It's their fault they're in a situation. I don't know if they have enough, to do what it takes to win in Milwaukee. I don't see Giannis and them going out bad in Milwaukee. I think it's going to be a dog fight. But right now, I have no faith in Suns, just like I have no faith in the Sixers. So Bucks and six, sadly.
Bucks and six. Brian, are you gonna give us the Suns some hope? Are you hanging on?
It's going to 7 games, man.
Mm.
There it is.
It's going to 7.
Games. It's
Yeah,
going to seven.
and until the Bucks win it, I ain't giving them credit for nothing. I done
I,
seen
I
them.
respect that.
I done seen them screw the pooch way too many times. We had Coach Bud in Atlanta, and that's why I still don't give him credit for nothing
I don't blame
because
him.
he ain't do nothing in Atlanta, and I don't think he's doing nothing in Milwaukee now. So it's gonna go 7.
All right, go seven. Hey, I've called
Well,
Bucks
let me
and
say
six.
one last thing.
Go ahead.
No rebounds, no rings.
Mm.
There it
Bucks is
is.
plus 32 on the board. Phoenix is out of here.
People
There-
forget
there-
simple things still win games, rebounding, turnovers, free throw percentage, all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. As much as we say, the game is changed 3-point analytic, whatever you want to call it. If you don't rebound, and you don't take care of the ball, no matter what you do, what pace you play at, what analytics use, you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
And that's just that. But I said Bucks in six. I'm gonna stick with that prediction. I'm looking for the Bucks to get out early, jump on the Suns early. I'm looking for the Bucks to win this game by 15 or more.
Mm.
Actually, I'm looking for domination in this game six from Giannis. I'm looking for him to come out to force the issue. I think Drew feeling good. I think Chris feeling good. And another thing, I know you don't want to give Bud no credit, but another thing I thought about as well is less of Brook Lopez, more of Bobby Portis being able to switch if they have to. It's a little bit better than having Brook Lopez on the island. So we've been seeing less of Brook Lopez and more of Bobby Portis. I just think it's Giannis' time. Like I said, and I think it's almost time for the torch to be passed.
No, no, no,
Yeah, I
no,
think it's almost
no,
LeBron. It's time for
no.
LeBron to pass that torch to somebody else. I'm not saying he's gonna keep it forever. I'm not saying Giannis is gonna keep it forever. But it's time. I think it's time, and I think it'll be perfect right here, right now. Giannis, go ahead and kind of take that crown for a minute.
Until you dethrone the king, you're not the king.
King gotta get there.
Because if that's the case, then he just won last year. If that's the case,
I
why
understand he
wasn't
can't help
Kawhi
it.
giving the mantle? Why wasn't Kawhi giving the mantle when
But
he
they
went to
tried.
the
He ain't.
Celtics?
He can't take it. He's low management. We only seen 50 games a year. He can't take the crown.
So we about to give it to the. All right, listen. For each his own. I don't know if I'm giving it to Giannis after this year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it'll be
I
hard to.
am.
I can look
I am.
outside of really even KD, and he beat KD even though KD didn't have his full arsenal.
Did he beat KD or did the Bucks beat the Nets?
I mean, okay, that's fair. Bucks beat the Nets. Team
Okay.
yeah.
game, but Bucks beat the Nets. That's fair. But I'm just saying, you just look at the statistics. You look at his accolades. It's there's no one in the last 4 years that's done more than Giannis has.
You're right. You're 100% right.
So if he wins this ring to cap off like a 4 or 5 year run where you got two MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year, it's hard not to for him not to get that man. And LeBron, it don't matter, bro. He's great still. He's great, but you even though how great he is, you still starting to you starting to see a decline. He's 36.
Yeah, but you got to look at what you said earlier, though. You gave a lot of credit to the move of bringing in Drew Holiday.
Hmm.
When Giannis did not have Drew Holiday, they didn't make no finals. So
Okay.
yes, Giannis is great. He's very good, but torch passing and everything else, I still got to hold off on that.
until
But I mean, who
LeBron
really
drops
making it?
off.
But who no? But who really make? Eric Bledsoe is just a cancer.
Eric Bledsoe.
Oh,
True,
listen, you know how
I
I
agree
feel
with
about
you.
Eric Bledsoe.
That move
Eric
of bringing
Bledsoe is
Holiday over.
just he's just like
He needs to be a
bad
six
luck.
man right now because he ruined the Pelicans. He
Like
ruined the
he's bad
Pelicans.
Because
luck. Wherever he go, it's just like something gonna happen eventually to your team. Cause you know what I mean. So I mean, I get Drew Holiday was a huge piece, absolutely. I discussed that, but the way Giannis is performing,
I'm with you.
I, yeah,
I'm
I'm
it's
not
with
mad
you.
at that.
really
I just don't know if I can give it to him without the drop off from the guy who has the mantle. The guy who has the mantle hasn't dropped off, and so I know I understand what you're saying. Did he drop off before that ankle injury? Was he not top three for MVP voting? We saying he's this one of the best players in the league before his ankle went down. So what?
that's fair.
And without AD,
Well, AD got hurt. They start losing.
they was still
That's
top
when they
three.
started because I know they dropped the game to like Detroit,
They was
and
still
they was losing to some bums.
they was still top three when everybody else was healthy under
Yeah,
him.
but they was starting to lose some games. They wasn't as hot as they were, and then LeBron got hurt on top of it, and then it really kind of snowballed from there. But once AD got hurt, it started to snowball a little bit there, a little bit, and then when LeBron got hurt, it really just kind of ended the Lakers season. To be quite honest with you,
You right on that.
with that, but.
Oh my gosh,
Don't
man.
let this distract you from the fact that MJ scored more points against the Wild Stars than LBJ did against the Tool
Ah,
Squad.
If you're older than 16,
hey,
I'm not trying to hear that, man.
hey, that's true though. But guys, hey, listen, I appreciate y'all joining me. It's been real. So we got Brian with Game 7. Everybody else think it's gonna be over the ball night,
I hope
and
it's
we'll
not, but I think
hey,
it is.
we will see, and that's the beauty of sports. You just never know on any given night. What's gonna happen. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. We'll definitely probably recap the NBA Finals as a whole, Game 6, and recap the NBA season as a whole as well. It was a great season. We saw a lot of fresh faces in the playoffs. People that kind of put themselves on the big stage and try to enter superstar status. So the league is in a good position moving forward. So I appreciate everyone. Appreciate you, Coach Kurt. Appreciate you, Brian. Appreciate you, Chris. And once again, Chris, you can let people know where they can find you at.
Find me on Instagram at Twitter at sportsw_Chris, sportsw_Chris on YouTube at Chris Wavy TV. I got a weekly podcast and I got a sports website coming out with daily sports blogs.
All right, there it is. There it is. Until next time, folks, this is Time Out with Coach Cam. We out. Peace.
Peace.